Good morning students. Today we will discuss about evolution of computers. How computer is evolved. Necessity is mother of invention. This saying hold true for computer too. Computers were invented because of man's research for fast and accurate calculating device. Blaise Pascal invented first mechanical adding machine in 1642. Later in year 1671, Baron Gottfried Wilhelm von Lipton of Germany invented the first calculator for multiplication. Keyboard machines originated in United States around 1880 and we use them even today also. At the same time, Herman Horleth came up with the concept of punch card that were extremely used as input medium in computer in 1970s. Business machines and calculator made their appearance in Europe, America towards the end of 19th century. Charles Babbage, who is considered as father of modern digital computer, he employed a group of clerks for preparing mathematical statistical tables. He spends lot of time in checking these tables because even utmost care and precautions could not eliminate human error. Then he designed a defense engine machine in 1822 that produced reliable tables. In 1842, Babbage came out with a new idea of automatic analytical engine for performing arithmetic functions for any mathematical problem at an average speed of 60 additions per minute. In order to have a better idea of evolution of computer, it is worthwhile to discuss some of the well-known early computers. First one is Mark I computer. It appears in period 1937 to 44. It is also known as automatic sequence controller calculator. This was first fully automatic calculating machines designed by Howard A. Aiken of Howard University in collaboration with IBM. It was an electromechanical device based on the technique that already developed for punch card machine. In this machine, it was huge in size and very complex in design. It used over 3000 electrically automated switches to control its operation, and it was approximately 50 feet long and 8 feet high. It is capable of performing 5 basic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and table reference of the big tables. Next, second is Anton's of Berry computer. It worked in the period 1939 to 42. Dr. John Antonov developed an electronic machine to solve certain mathematical equations. This machine was called the Antonov Berry computer or ABC, named after the inventor name. Third one is ENIAC. A period is 1943 to 46. Electronic numerical integrator and calculator was the first all electronic computer. It was constructed at Murray School of Engineering of University of Pennsylvania, USA. It used 18,000 vacuum tubes and could add numbers in 200 microseconds and multiply them in 2000 microseconds. ADVEC. Major drawback of ENIAC was that its program were wired on board that made it difficult to change the program. Dr. John von Neumann later introduced the stored program concept that helped in overcoming this problem. Basic idea behind his concept is that a sequence of instruction and data can be stored in the memory of computer for automatically directing the flow of operation. This feature considerably influenced the development of modern digital computer, and the same model is used in organization of computer till today also. Next computer is EDSEC. Almost simultaneously with ADVEC of USA, Britisher developed the electronic delay storage automatic calculator. This machine executed its first program in 1949. UNIVAC 1 Universal Automatic Computer was the first digital computer that was not one of the kind. UNIVAC marked the arrival of commercial available digital computer for business and scientific applications. Now, next we discuss generation of computer. Computer generation provide the framework for growth of computer industries. It represents the varying hardware technology, but also software that together make up the computer system. Means both hardware and software development of computers. First generation computer period was 1942 to 1955. Earlier used computer NVAC, ADVAC, EDSEC, UNIVAC, IBM, these are the first generation computers. In this, thousands of vacuum tubes were used. Vacuum tube was fragile glass device which used filament as a source of electronics and could control and amplify the electronic signal. In this time, punching cards were used as an input and output devices, and these instructions were written in machine language and high level language. Characteristics of first generation computers are: number 1, they were the fastest calculating devices of their time. Second, they were too bulky in size that requiring large room for installation. They used thousands of vacuum tubes that emitted large amount of heat and burnt out frequently. Hence, room in which these computers were located had to be properly air conditioned. Next point, each vacuum tube consumed about half a watt of power. Since computer typically used more than 10,000 vacuum tubes, power consumption of these computers was very high. Computer tubes use filaments that had a limited life. Because a computer used thousands of vacuum tubes, these computers were prone to frequent hardware failure. Because of this low mean time between failure, these computers require constant maintenance. In these computers, thousands of individual components were assembled manually by hand into electronic circuits. Hence, commercial production of these computers was very difficult and costly. Since these computers were difficult to program and use, they had limited commercial use. Now come to second generation. The period of second generation was 1955 to 1964. Here Walter Brattain invented a new electronic switching device called transistor at Bell Laboratories. Transistor soon proved to be better electronic switching device than vacuum tube because of following properties. Transistors were more rugged and easier to handle than tubes since they were made up of germanium semiconductor material rather than glass. They were highly reliable as compared to tubes since they had no part like filament that would burn out. Transistors switch much faster than tubes, hence switching circuits made of transistor could operate much faster than their counterpart made of tubes. They consume almost 1/10 of the power consumed by tube. Transistor was much smaller in size than tubes. Transistors were less expensive to produce and transistor dissipated much less heat as compared to vacuum tubes. Because of this, second generation computers have following characteristics. And also in the second generation, magnetic core was used for main memory and magnetic disk and tape were used for secondary storage media. Punch card was also still popular by that time, and on the software front, high level programming languages like Fortran, COBOL, Algol, Snowball and batch processing system emerged during the second generation. Batch processing means set of jobs were allotted to the computers and no human intervention was required, and computer automatically process all the jobs, resulting a faster processing, enhanced throughput, easier operation of second generation computer. Now let us discuss the characteristics features of second generation. Second generation computers were more than 10 times faster than first generation computer. They were smaller than first generation computer and required less space. They consumed less power and dissipated less heat as compared to first generation computer. Room area in which second generation computers were located still required to be properly air conditioned. They were more reliable and less prone to hardware error failure than first generation computer. Now these are the three pictures. First one is the picture of vacuum tube, second is transistor and next is IC chip, integrated chips. Next characteristics of second generation is they are faster and larger primary and secondary storage. They were easier to program and use than first generation computer and hence they had wider commercial use. In second generation computers, thousands of individual transistors had to be assembled manually by hand into electronic circuit, making commercial production of these computers difficult and costly. Now come to third generation. Third generation period is 1964 to 1975. Integrated chips were used. These technology use small scale integration, medium scale integration, means on 5 mm square few circuits were fabricated on a single chip. In this larger magnetic core based random access memory as well as large storage capacity, magnetic disk and tape were used. Hence, third generation computers typically had few megabyte of main memory and magnetic disk capable of storing few tens of the megabyte of the data per disk. In this time, Fortran and COBOL were used frequently, and time sharing operating system was unbundled on the software part. Few characteristics of third generation computer are: third generation computers were more powerful than second generation computer. They were capable of performing about 1 million instructions per second. They were smaller than second generation computer. They consumed less power and dissipated less heat than second generation computer. The room in which third generation computers were located still require to be properly air conditioned. They were more reliable, less prone to hardware failure than second generation computer, requiring lower maintenance cost. They were faster and larger primary and secondary storage as compared to second generation. These computers were general purpose machines suitable for both scientific and commercial application. Manufacturing did not require manual assembly of individual components into electronic circuits, resulting in reduced human labor and cost involved in assembly stage. Hence, commercial production of these systems were easier and cheaper. However, sophisticated technology and expensive setup were required for manufacturing of IC chips. Standardization of high-level programming language allowed program written in one computer to be easily ported to and executed on another computer. Standards were maintained for high-level language. Time sharing operating systems were allowed interactive usage and simultaneous use of these systems by multiple users. Time sharing operating system helped in drastically improving the productivity of programmer, cutting down the time and cost of program development by several fold. Time sharing operating system also made online system feasible, resulting in usage of these systems for new one-line application. Mini computers of third generation made computer affordable even by smaller companies also. Fourth generation computer. Time period of fourth generation computer was 1975 to 89. In this time, very large scale integrated circuits were used, very large scale integration. It was possible to integrate 30,000 electronic components on a single chip. Microprocessor contains all circuits needed to perform arithmetic, logic and control function, the core activity of all the computers, on a single chip. Therefore, it became possible to build a complete computer with a microprocessor, a few additional primary storage chip and other support circuit. This is the revolution of personal computer revolution. Significant development during fourth generation period was spread of high speed computer networking, enabling interconnection of multiple computers to enable them to communicate and share data. Local area network became popular for connecting the computers. Similarly, WAN, wide area network, became popular for connecting computers located at large distance. This gave rise to network of computer and distributed system. On the software front, several development emerged to match new technology. For example, MS-DOS operating system, MS Window, Apple Priority operating system for individuals were now developed by the professionals. Few characteristics of fourth generation computer. PC were smaller and cheaper than mainframe and mini computer of the third generation. Fourth generation mainframe required proper air conditioning of room in which they are located, but no air conditioning were required for PC. These computers consume less power than third generation computer. These computers were more reliable, less prone to hardware failure than third generation computer, requiring negligible maintenance cost. They were faster and larger primary and secondary storage as compared to third generation computer. These are general purpose machines. Their manufacturing don't require manual assembly of individual components into electronic circuits. This result in reduced human labor and cost involved of assembly stage. Hence, commercial production of these systems were easier and cheaper. Highly sophisticated technology and expensive setup was required for large scale and very large scale chip. Use of standard high level programming language allow program written for one computer to be easily ported and executed to another computer. Graphical user interface GUI enables new user to quickly learn how to use computer. PC based application made PC powerful tool for office and home use. Network of computer enable sharing of resources like disk, printer among multiple computers and their user. In addition to unbundled software, this system also used add-on hardware failure that allow user to invent only in hardware configuration and software of their need and value. PC of fourth generation computers affordable even by individual for their personal use at home. Now come to the fifth generation. Trend of further minimization of electronic components, dramatic increase in power of microprocessor chips and increase in capacity of main memory and hard disk continued during fifth generation. Very large scale integration technology became ULSI, ultra large scale integration technology in fifth generation, resulting in production of microprocessor chips having 10 million electronic circuits. In fact, the speed of microprocessor and the size of main memory and hard disk doubled almost every 18 months. Few characteristics of fifth generation computers are portable PC. Notebook computers are much smaller and handy than PC of fourth generation, allowing user to use computing facility even while traveling. Fifth generation desktop PC and workstation are several times more powerful than PC of fourth generation. Although fifth generation mainframe computer require proper air conditioning, but normally notebook computers, desktop workstation don't require air conditioning. They consume less power than their predecessors. These computers are more reliable, less prone to hardware failure than their predecessor. Many of large-scale fifth generation systems have hot plug failure that enable a failed component to be replaced with new one without the need to shut down the system. Hence, uptime of the system is very high. These have faster and larger primary and secondary memory, and they are general purpose machines. The manufacturing don't require manual assembling of individual components into electronic circuits. This result in reduced human labor and cost involved in assembly stage. Hence, commercial production of these systems is easier and cheaper. However, highly sophisticated technology and expensive setup is required. Use of standard high-level language allowed computer program written for one computer to be easily executed on another computer. More user-friendly interface with multimedia features make system easier to learn and use by anyone, including children. Newer and more powerful application, including multimedia application, make system more useful in everyday occupation. Explosion of size of internet coupled with internet-based tool and application have made these systems influence the life of even common people. These also use the concept of unbundled software and add-on hardware, allowing user to invent only in hardware configuration and software of their need and value. With so many types of computers in all price range today, we have computer for almost any type of user, whether the user is a child or word frame scientist. Now, here is a table which give the brief summarization of all the generations regarding hardware, software and main characteristics of the computers. Now, here we have discussed all the generations of the computer. In fifth generation, concept of artificial intelligence also arrived. Neural network is also part of AI. Robotics are generated in this fifth generation computer. Now, we discuss the classification of computer on the basis of purpose. Computer can be classified as general purpose computer, special purpose computer. General purpose computers are those that can be used by all type of user in all type of environment. Special purpose computers are used in specific area, for example in airline reservation, satellite application and other for specific purpose. Now, on the basis of size, storage, performance, we can categorize the computers in four major categories: micro, mini, mainframe and supercomputer. Microcomputer are small, low cost, consisting of microprocessor, RAM, I/O unit, power supply. These computers came in light near 1975 after the invention of very large scale integrated chips. These computers are designed by famous manufacturer Dell, HP, HCL, IBM, Lenovo. Now, these are further categorized as desktop computer, that is also known as personal computer. They have keyboard, mouse as input, monitor and printer are as output. CPU center, these are placed on the top of the disk. Next is laptop. Laptop computers have same configuration, but it has flexible screen, foldable screen. Laptop use touchpad instead of mouse and have complex architecture. Today, laptop come with inbuilt camera, LED screen and many other advanced features. Palm top computers are smaller than laptop and can be placed in our palm. Tablet stylus use stylus as an input. Screen is very small. These devices use memory cards for storage and don't have disk. Therefore, palm top have limited memory and less speed than desktop. Now, second is our mini computer. Mini computer are middle range of computer having greater size, more primary and secondary memory and powerful processor than microcomputer. These computers are designed to do multiple tasks of several users simultaneously. It is capable to connect around 200 users with server. IBM 8100 is the example of mini computer. Mainframe computer are very powerful processors, sophisticated operating system. These computers have greater size, costly and more storage capacity is required. Now it is using many processor, more than one CPU, many hard disk and input output devices are used. Now mainframe computer can handle thousands of computer per server at a time. And the last is supercomputer. Supercomputer are the fastest, sophisticated and very powerful machine. It is designed to process application at very high speed with greater accuracy and complex calculations. Supercomputer work in nanosecond of time. It has huge main memory and secondary storage. It is mainly used for weather forecasting, remote sensing, image processing and military application. Param are the example of the supercomputer. Hope you all these points are clear. Thank you. Have a nice day.